I did Let's Plays when I was 12. Yeah, dude. I also did Let's Plays as well when I was young. I actually had a Clash Royale channel. I'll talk about it in a later date. But holy shit, I have so many cool stories. I was like a professional Clash Royale player. Like I call myself a god gamer, but I had a YouTube channel where it was educational Clash Royale videos, and I competed in Clash Royale tournaments when I was in like grade 11. I was like so deep into that game. I got a bunch of viruses trying to hack it. Dude, you remember grand challenges in Clash Royale, right? So funny story was that basically as like I don't want to say pro, because like I got like paid a bit, but not like that much for Clash Royale. I like won a couple of tournaments with like a decent amount of prize pool at that time as a kid, right? So as a guy who was trying to get better at Clash Royale, the best way to practice for Clash Royale was through grand challenges. Those 100 gem 12 win grand challenges. 12 wins you get the max amount of chests, 3 wins and you're out. As like a pro player, I would be able to get 12 wins and like 1 to 2 losses consistently, right? If you wanted to be a good Clash Royale player, you had to get 12 wins consistently. And when you're at like the 11, 10 win mark, that's when you would get matched with people who always also had like 10, 11 win marks. So basically during grand challenges, you would also basically be facing other pros. Think about grand challenges as like a scrimmage area for Clash Royale pros. If you were trying to get good at Clash Royale, you had to complete grand challenges at that time. You had to consistently get 12 win grand challenges, right? But 100 gems is not cheap. Like as a kid who didn't want to like spend my parents' credit card, you know, because I'm not like earning any money, right? I had to find a better way to get gems. So like I was part like of a team. I don't know if they're still around. They were called Vanguard Esports. Wait, let me search if they're still around. They might be still competing. Vanguard Esports. Oh shit, they're still competing. Oh, they don't do Clash Royale anymore. Oh, that's sad. I think they do Valorant now. But yeah, I was playing for Vanguard. So you had to try out to get onto a team, right? So there were a lot of people trying out, and then you had to go through like initial tests. I got in because I showed them my YouTube channel, and I was like obviously pretty good at that time, and they also thought I was pretty good. So basically how the tryouts worked. No, honestly, dude, I could honestly talk about my Clash Royale days for like 3 hours. I don't want to get too deep into it, but I could talk about it for a later date. So basically how tryouts work was you had to like fill out a form. I think they still do it this way, where you have to like fill out a Google Sheet for the doc, and then tell them like what you do, your trophies and stuff, like where your capabilities are. And then after, one guy does like a test run with you as well. So obviously I had a educational YouTube channel at the time, so I obviously made the requirement. So I was trying out for Vanguard, I think, and they had a lot of people trying out, and they split the group into like 3 groups, and I was in like the second group. So I was looking at down my list, there was a ton of people. I saw like a few names that I knew in the scene, and I'm like, I think I can ace this pool. So I watched the first group play. I'm like spectating their game. So the meta at that time was like, I think like Log Bait and 3 Musketeers, Pega Breach Spam. I couldn't like find a deck to counter it, right? In my opinion, I was just like, if I play this deck better than other people, I'm just gonna win. The first group plays, I watched 2 people stomp their group, or not stomp their group. So the first guy went 9-1, the second guy went 8-2, right? And then all the other guys didn't do that well. So only 2 people, or only like 2 to 3 people from each group make it out. So top 2 are guaranteed. And then the third one, the managers, they're watching the game. So if they think you're good enough, they'll add you in. But if they think it's a weak pool, they won't take the third guy. So obviously as like, what, I don't know how old I was. Maybe I was in like grade 9, 10. I was fucking stressed as hell. Like I was stressed out of my mind when it was my turn. But I played a ton of grand challenges. I knew the deck in and out. Like I had to read on the meta way before other people did. So I ran a balloon deck. I had like an unorthodox balloon deck that no one in the community played. Like it was not a meta deck. What was good about my deck was that people didn't know how to play against it, right? I was like a balloon connoisseur. It wouldn't be far-fetched to call me the top 5 balloon players at that time, because no one fucking played balloon. Balloon was so garbage at that time, but I was like a balloon savant at that time, right? So pools come, right? Second group comes, it's my turn to play. I bust out the balloon deck, and then my opponent was playing Golden Beatdown. That's the worst possible matchup for balloon, especially for my deck, because I wasn't running any hard clears, right? I wasn't running rocket, I wasn't running any AoE, so it was really hard to kill the back troops from a Golden Beatdown. So basically big brain me at that time was, it's harder to explain without visuals. In the Golden Beatdown meta deck, people would run Mega Minion, Night Witch, and the other cards were like Cycle and Elixir Pump. So being the balloon player I was, I knew that if the Mega Minion was not in the hand of the golem player, I could just send down a balloon and it would get 2 free hits on the tower, right? The even bigger brain strategy was that whenever they placed the golem on, say they placed the golem on the right side, I would immediately spam like a solo balloon on the left side, because I would count the cards. I would know they didn't have Mega Minion minion in rotation. And the good thing about balloon, squishy, right? But if it's left unattended, it will kill an entire tower. So they send the balloon in the right lane. I spam play a balloon by itself, mind you. No one would ever do this except for me. Like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I basically invented this strat, right? I would play a balloon at the bridge, left side, and then because if they didn't do anything, the tower would basically just die. They had to cycle through like 4 useless elixirs to get back to their Mega Minion. And by the time they got back to their Mega Minion, the balloon would already get 1 hit. But that was even better because now that the balloon was on the left side of the tower, they didn't have any supporting troops for the golem that was going on the right side of the tower. So I was able to split their troops because golem can only work when you have the golem and supporting troops. So with the Mega Minion on the left side of the tower, I'm free to put a mini P.E.K.K.A that I ran in that deck onto the golem because I know that I don't have to deal with the flying troops that come to my side that are supporting the golem. So basically, split lane pressure was the name of the game when I was playing that deck. And I played that deck flawlessly. Like, I ran through, I don't even know how many grand challenges I ran through with that deck, but I knew that deck in and out. So back to the tryout. I play against Golem, which is the hardest deck to face because basically if I send the balloon down, right, and then they don't deal with it, and instead the correct play to do was to actually stack everything you had on behind the golem because there's no way I would be able to defend it. The bait was that they had to use their troops to defend the balloon, and then because they defended the balloon, they couldn't support the golem. So I basically baited out that strat. But if they played it properly nowadays, I think people know this now when they play against my deck. So all they had to do to beat me was to just not care, to just give up that tower, which is insane at that time, right? You're like, why the fuck would I give up a tower? But they would just sacrifice that tower, go golem beat down on that side, and then they would be able to 3-star me because I didn't have that many defensive cards in my thing, right? So that was the correct way to play against me. And then so first game comes. I play I think I play a pretty well-known guy in my group, and then I do the strat where I make him split his troops. I play really well control, I stomp him, and I'm like, man, I'm feeling really fucking good. So that eased my nerve because I play against like a relatively high seed in my group. Like I knew him from like other tournaments. So I smashed him, right? And that gave me the confidence I needed because I fucking went 10-0 in that fucking group. I smashed that group so hard. After the 10th game, dude, sigh of relief, man. That was like the best I ever felt. So yeah, I made it onto the team, and what I actually didn't know at that time was that there were already people on that team, and those people were actually like top competitors. Like I know a guy, wait, what's his name? Does he still compete? So there was a guy named Oh Yeah. Once I made the team, I scrimmed like all the top players. There was a guy named Oh Yeah. Clash Royale esports was like huge, right? I think he was like named MVP for one of the spring splits for Clash Royale. That guy was actually insane because I got stomped whenever I faced him. That guy was absolutely insane. I didn't know what I was doing when I was facing him. The team I was on, they actually have players that are competing professionally in Clash Royale nowadays. So that like humbled me because I thought it was like all this hot shit, right? Going 10-0 groups, stomping everyone my way. And then I made it to the big boy leagues. And then I faced like an actual pro, and I got my shit stomped, man. Oh my god, that guy was insane.